Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. I think it's safe to say that Modern Warfare 2 or Modern Warfare 2022, whatever you want to call it, is probably one of the most hyped up and anticipated COD games we've ever had, with good reason. Obviously, it's coming after MW 2019, which was the most successful COD in history. And curiously enough, it seems as every single week goes by, we keep getting more and more leaks and rumors on this game, including over the course of the past couple of days, where we now have some new information on the potential content season for MW2, also some information on a returning fan favorite mode, and some curious info as to what could be happening during 2023 while MW2 is in its second year. On top of that, we also recently saw some leaks for what could be some Season 3 content for Warzone and obviously Vanguard as well. So quite a bit to go over today as we break it all down. If you enjoy the video at any point, let me know by dropping a like on it. Really does help grow the channel. And if you're new here or if you haven't already subscribed, you already know I got you covered with everything going on in COD. So feel free to hit that sub button and turn on those post notifications. Let's get right into the leaks and rumors. As always, anytime we're talking about this stuff, one, even if there were images or videos to be shown, we're not showing anything on the screen in this video. Two, this is all subject to change. We're obviously still very, very far out from MW2 releasing. The Season 3 stuff, maybe not as much, but especially when it comes to Modern Warfare 2, there are a lot of things that could end up getting scrapped, altered in some way, shape, or form, so just take everything with a grain of salt. When it comes to this MW2 stuff, though, this is all stemming from Ralph's Valve. We've talked about him a handful of times. He is building a pretty credible track record, so I do think it is worth noting that when we're talking about this kind of stuff, but he has this series of tweets regarding a bunch of different MW2 stuff. He starts off by saying that MW2's DLC will expand into the 2023 content year. As we sort of actually talked about on the channel a few days back, I was like, you know, it would make a lot of sense to have that first initial year of content that'll go until fall of 2023. But then it's funny because we talk about the 2023 content year, and really the majority of that is from fall of 2023 to fall of 2024, or whenever the next Black Ops game or Treyarch game ends up releasing. So we call it the 2023 content year. It's primarily in 2024, so probably worth remembering that as well. But we talked about that a little while back. Ralph is sort of saying, yes, it should probably be expanding into 2023/2024. And apparently Infinity Ward plans to incorporate more remastered maps than we all initially thought, including maps not just from OG MW2, which was what the initial leak and rumor was, but also COD 4, Modern Warfare obviously, and Modern Warfare 3, which I think would be really cool. There are some of the best maps in COD history between all those games. I think it'd be also very interesting if we perhaps saw some DLC maps from some of those games, because they did have some pretty solid DLC maps, at least in my own opinion. But yeah, we're basically just expanding even more on Modern Warfare 2 or Modern Warfare 2022 being this all-encompassing Modern Warfare title that sort of has absorbed what would have been Modern Warfare 2 remastered multiplayer, and now apparently even some additions of MW3 and COD 4 multiplayer being remastered and re-implemented basically into MW2 throughout the content season. Now, we've got no idea if that'll come as paid content in the 2024 year, because that'll be the second year of support for this game, which has never been done before. So there are still a lot of questions regarding that, but it is some pretty interesting news there. Ralph also briefly mentioned that gunfight should be returning in MW2. Somebody asked him that over on Twitter, and he said, yes, gunfights should be returning, which I love. I love the gunfight mode back in MW 2019. It was a ton of fun. Champion Hill is all right in Vanguard, but to me, gunfight is just the GOAT, like 2v2 mode that we have there. I really, really enjoyed it, and again, I'm glad to hear that that could be returning. Now, aside from MW2 specifically, Ralph also talked a lot about what we might see during 2023 around the fall time, because obviously we're not going to see that new Call of Duty, that new premium Call of Duty release, and even this could span into early 2024 as well. But he says that we may see more remastered COD titles to fill that empty space, and he actually goes into a little bit more detail here by saying it could be games like World at War and even Call of Duty 1 and Call of Duty 2, which would be pretty interesting. I don't think those would necessarily have as much hype as, say, MW2 remastered multiplayer or Black Ops 2 remastered, but they are games that would, again, fill that dead space in time where we don't have a new premium title. And it's also games that probably a lot of the COD players nowadays didn't get a chance to play because they either, weren't old enough at that time, or the series just wasn't as popular back then as it is now. He also mentions that Modern Warfare Remastered could be being remastered again, brought back again, basically giving it backwards compatibility, but it also could potentially be coming to the Switch as sort of that first installment over there. We talked about a little while back that Microsoft previously said that once they do acquire Activision Blizzard, they do have an interest in trying to expand the games to other platforms like the Switch, so that could be a bit of an experimentation there. It is also very important to note, I feel like, that Ralph also specifically said that MW3 Remastered was not in the conversation with those Empty Space Remastered games. That is something that I think we all expect to happen at some point in time. We've seen COD 4 Remastered, we've seen Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. It's only, right and natural that we see MW3 Remastered, but we've got no idea when that could be. And when it comes down to all of this, with all these remastered games, it does depend a lot on how successful MW2 and Warzone 2 are, if we see these games released with multiplayer or even at all. If we get into late 2023 and early 2024 and Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2 are still bringing in millions upon millions upon millions of dollars a day, maybe they don't need to drop these and they can, keep them for a rainy day and drop them at some point later on in the future. So it is a very fluid situation, but again, could make a lot of sense considering that we're not going to have that premium title. Now, like I mentioned earlier, over the weekend, we also got some new information on what could be some Season 3 leaked content for Vanguard and Warzone and also beyond. Primarily, it does relate to Vanguard multiplayer. However, there were a series of operator names that surfaced that obviously are going to be tied to Warzone and Vanguard alike. Those include names like Callum, Tiburon, I'm probably mispronouncing that, Ikena, Kenosha, and then also Butcher. The other ones could be code names. Butcher does not seem to be a code name. It would be, very surprising if we didn't see him debut as an operator at some point in time, considering he's like the main narrator for all the storyline stuff between Warzone and Vanguard. So a couple of new operators that could be coming here at some point in the future. Obviously, there's more than 3 there. We usually see 3 per season, so we could get some of those during Season 3, the rest to come at a later date in time. And then when it comes to the Vanguard specific leaks here, this info is all coming from Reality, by the way. He's a data miner that we've talked about previously as well. We did see some new leaks for a new piece of equipment, then also a new perk over the past couple of days. The serum equipment has been apparently introduced into the files, and this would in theory give you increased movement speed, better flinch resistance, and better stability, while also reducing incoming damage. So it's basically like double time times a perk that gives you better flinch, times Juggernaut, which gives you better health or reduces damage, right? So that could be a pretty impressive piece of equipment, right? Like that could be pretty game changing. So curious to see if that releases and it's fully balanced. It sounds like it could be very powerful. And then when it comes to the perk, this one's apparently called Evasive. And this says tac sprint refreshes more quickly after sprinting into a slide or jump, which essentially would like replicate slide canceling in the MW like movement versus the Vanguard movement, which is a little bit more delayed when it comes to being able to slide cancel consistently and get that tac sprint back up. So basically that'd be a perk for players who love to play just mad aggressive and rush around 24/7. One more interesting thing to note, apparently USS Texas was added back into the files. We talked about this one a long time ago, then it was removed from the files, and now it's back in the files. So we got a roller coaster going on here with what could happen with USS Texas returning as a multiplayer map. Will it happen? I guess we're going to have to wait and see, because who knows, in 2 weeks it might be back out of the files again, but they did note that it was added back in with this latest update. All that being said though, those are the new leaks and the new rumors that we've got for MW 2022, a little bit of what could be Season 3 content, and also what could be happening with some new remasters as well. That's going to wrap things up for today. If you enjoyed the video, let me know by dropping a like on it. Really does help the channel grow. And if you're new here or if you haven't subscribed yet, every day I got you covered with the latest news, updates, loadouts, tips, and everything else going on in COD. So feel free to hit that sub button and turn on those post notifications. As always, if you want to check out any of my partners, be sure to use code WhosImmortal for a spicy discount on all Scuff, G Fuel, Gamer Advantage, and Control Freak products. The links for all those can be found down in the description below. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.